Hey guys, so today I bring to you guys a 2004 Toyota Tundra Limited. Alright guys, so let's take a good look at the tailgate. This tailgate is lockable, the key fob. Now when you drop the tailgate, it actually falls down really fast. It doesn't come with the new features like on the 2019 Tundra with the soft dropping tailgate, but you do get a really good and wide bed in the back. Oh, not too bad. And then here you do have some pretty durable plastic for where you would step on whenever you are trying to get on board the bed. And now coming to the rear passenger seat, the door materials. As you can see here, this is a really nice design back in 2004. You do have this soft cover padded area, and you do have some cloth lining here, along with your old school doorknob, window switch, and a little compartment here to put your cigarette ashes. And also you do get some fake wood trim up, and you do have this softly padded grab handle right here, as well as another compartment to put your maps, etc., and your speaker. On the Limited, it did come with the JBL system. And then down here you do have your light, as well as another carpeted lining right here. Hard touch. Now let's take a look at the back of the passenger seats. Right off the bat, you do notice that these are cloth, even though on the Limited they did come with leather. But this person opted out of the leather seats and went with just the old school cloth seats, which was probably a pretty good idea. You do have two mat pockets on the back of the driver and passenger seats. Now taking a look at the floorboard here, you notice it is fairly flat. You do have a tiny hump right here. And then on the sides here, you do notice that all passengers, even the driver for this year, had grab handles. And then also coming down here, you do get vents on the side pillars here. Traditionally, in modern cars, they're located right behind your center armrest. Now these seats can be folded down via this lever right here. If you need more room, you can fold down the back seats. There's actually another lever down here. If you push this, you can actually tilt the seat up. And I believe this feature is when you have the seat folded down and you want to take it out of the car, you can. You do have a handy footstep as well as your grab handle. Very handy. And then shutting the door, even for this year model, it sounds very solid. And then taking a look at the inside of the interior. As you can see here, the headliner is sagging. Can be easily fixed. And then coming to the center seat, you do have an armrest as well as two small cup holders. And then for the other side, you do have another vent on the pillar there, along with the same materials. Very nice. And you can also slide these seatbelt straps up if you wish. You do have two decent sized cup holders, along with another compartment here to put your chapstick, I guess. Overall, I feel pretty comfortable, and it's pretty spacious back here. No problem sitting back here, at least for me. And also on the Limited, you do have a sunroof. And then getting out of the car, just make sure you use the step and grab onto this handle. Easy exit. And now coming to the front passenger seat. As you can see here, you do have your tweeters up here, along with the same padded leather material, the top, and your softly padded grab handle, and another softly padded armrest, along with your wood trim, your lock, and your window switch. And then coming down here, you do have another mat pocket. Here is your JBL speaker. Now, taking a look at the front passenger seat. You do have very soft, smooth cloth seats. As you can see, it's only manually adjusting. Now let's go inside. You do have a grab handle. Makes it easy to get in and out. Sounds solid. Now just looking at the dash here, you do have a glove box that is not lockable. Well, a decent glove box. Your vents, airbag. On the dash, you do have this really hard but super durable plastic. This car is 14 years old and there's no signs of any wear or cracks. It's amazing. And then coming up to your visor, and then you do have your vanity mirror along with the lights. Nice. This visor actually does not extend, but it has this feature right here where you can actually extend it, which is nice. But basically you have an old school visor that doesn't extend but has an extension, and then you have another one just in case there's two suns. Very clever. And it is lined with cloth. And then coming up here, you have your door light controls, as well as your sunroof controls that is very oddly labeled. I don't know how to open this sunroof at all. Like, I pressed all these buttons and nothing happened, so I really don't know. I guess that's old technology for you. And then you also have a sunglass holder. And then now coming down here to the center infotainment system, you do have your CD and your tape player. This Limited trim does come with the JBL system. Coming down, you do have your Tundra button right here that doesn't serve any function but to remind you that you are driving a Tundra. And underneath that button, you have your hazards, as well as your very simple, easy, and clean AC controls. And also over here, you do have the button for your cargo lamp, as well as your old school clock and your four-wheel drive controls. And now for the cup holders. Back then, you still had this really old school cup holder. And then you also have another compartment to put your coins. And then you do also have your cigarette outlet. And another thing I wanted to point out is that you do have two more 12-volt outlets down here for the passenger in case they need it, or whoever. And then coming back down to the center console, you do have this really big area right here where you can put your phone while you're charging it. And then you also have these two decent cup holders in the middle, but they don't seem to hold your drinks too securely, so be wary. And then coming over to your center console here, you don't actually have an armrest here. This is actually hard touch, but the driver and passenger both get their own armrest, which is nice. You don't have to share. And then taking a look at this console storage system, as you can see, you do have a compartment on top where you can store your pills, etc. And then there's also another compartment down here, fairly big, for more storage. Very nice. Now, let's go look at the other side. Very easy to get out. Side note, your fuel tank is located on your driver's side. Now let's take a look at the driver's side. You do have the same materials found on the passenger side, along with your window switches, your window lock, and your door locks. For the driver's seat, you do have power controls, along with a power lumbar support. Very nice. And then coming to the left of your steering column, you do have your very neat rear window opener. And also your side mirror controls, along with a blank slot here. I guess this was supposed to be for something else. And then your dimmer switch. And then coming down, you do have your hood release, as well as your foot actuated emergency brake. Now let's get inside. When you do step onto the step here and lift yourself up, you do have to duck down a little bit because the ceiling there is actually not too tall. It's actually kind of similar to the new Tacomas. Now just sitting here, the first thing I noticed is that this design is actually really, really nice. Really like the layout of this truck back then. And also they give you grab handle right here. And I noticed on the 2019 Tundra SR5 off-road, they actually don't give you a driver grab handle, which is a bummer. And another thing I noticed right off the bat is that this dash is so tiny. Like, this is what I miss. This is what I miss about old cars, is that they had a very, very tiny dash. As you can see here, I can actually reach the windshield, no problems. On these newer cars now, you have these really elongated dashes that kind of put you very far away from the windshield, and I actually prefer the old school setup. And now let's take a look at the instrument cluster. As you can see here, you have your coolant temperature, oil temperature, as well as your simple to read tach and speedometer, and also your battery voltage. And also back in 2004, I guess you can always tell how much gas you had, even if you had the car turned off. Now, for the new cars, in order to even see how much gas you have left, you would have to turn the ignition on. And then also, if you notice here, you have a steering wheel shifter. I really like this design because it frees up the center console quite a bit. You get a whole bunch of space down here. And then you also have your overdrive button up here. Also, your windshield stock on the right side of the steering column. And as well as your headlight controls. This steering wheel is actually not really good looking to me, but I guess it's pretty good for its age. The material is actually very grippy, way grippier than the SR5 Tundras, that's for sure. Coming down here to the bottom right, you still got your traditional Toyota cruise control stock. Coming back to the left side here, you do have your volume controls for your audio, as well as your track and your different modes. This steering wheel is only tilt, no telescopic. Overall, I really dig the old school trucks. Their designs were so flawless. And also these seats, you get this really nice armrest that you don't have to share with your passenger. And now let's take a look at the engine bay. In order to open the hood, the lever is actually right behind this piece right here in the front grille. And after that, it automatically lifts itself up. Thank you, Toyota. I have actually never seen the engine on this model Tundra before. So this is your V8 4.7 liter. Okay. I know on the newer Tundras there's actually a 4.6 liter and then also the 5.7 liter. Wow. This V8 is actually not too big. It's actually very compact. And this engine bay is so simple. There's just so much room. This is crazy. Holy crap. I'm kind of surprised by how compact this engine is. The 2019 Tundra's 5.7 liter V8 just makes this engine look like a 4-cylinder. Oh, wow. Now let's get this Tundra on the road. Let's do a visibility check. To your left, you do have very good visibility. You still have very good visibility to the right. And also, let's take a look at that feature for the rear window. So if you press that button down, you can fold down the window in the back, which is neat. One of the highlights for this Tundra. Right off the bat, you do hear that V8. Throttle response is actually very immediate. The steering does seem to be a little heavier, I believe because of the hydraulic steering rack. And then for the brakes, you do have to work on the brakes for it to slow down. But acceleration wise, accelerate like a truck. And getting back onto the brakes, there is no brake feel. You really don't get no feedback from the brake pedal at all. So in order to really exercise them brakes, you really have to stop on that brake pedal. Sometimes all the way to the floor. Going to noise levels, there isn't really that much wind noise. I hear it just a tiny bit. Well, I guess I do hear some wind noise coming up here from the sunroof. But then the V8 obviously covers that up quite well. You do get some suspension play around the twisties, but the body roll isn't all that bad. You also get a lot of roll feel from the steering. But overall, this suspension is actually quite compliant. It absorbs a lot of the imperfections very well. Again, the brakes don't have no feel. You really gotta just stomp on that brake pedal to get anything out of the brakes. Overall, there's not really that much wind noise, nor is there road noise. This car is actually really quiet, besides the V8 roaring at you all the time when you step on the gas pedal. This transmission is not overly too eager to downshift or shift for you. It's more eager to upshift, but it does take quite a while before it'll actually give you the gear that you want. But I can't complain too much because this is a truck. Overall, I think this 4-speed automatic transmission is actually well suited, and it's actually quite nice for this day and age. Shifting is actually not that rough. You can feel the upshifts, but it's not like jerky or anything. Now, just like any other trucks, you do have superior visibility in the front, and you can see cars from a mile away. Do a little turning test here. Turning radius isn't too bad. It's not great either, but it's decent. There's just something about older cars. I feel like we have moved away from a recipe that was once so... Yes, the word I'm looking for is unappreciated. The layout and design of this truck is so simple. Everything is so well laid out. The handling is still very superb for a 2004 truck. And this truck has 205,000 miles. And it still drives and shifts pretty much like brand new. You actually feel like you're sitting a little higher in these Tundras because you can actually see over the hood, which is good for maneuvering and parking. The only thing that I might complain if I was to own this truck is that it did not have or come with a backup camera. Now, of course, in this day and age, that is a simple fix, or should I say, upgrade. AC is still cold. Everything in here still works. The only thing that I am sort of doubting that still works is the sunroof, because the sunroof controls are up here, and it's so poorly labeled that I really don't know how to open the sunroof, which is weird. I'm pressing on all these buttons and it's not, I don't hear no mechanism noises. It's just weird. I really wished Toyota back in 2004 had made the sunroof controls a little bit easier to understand. And also, the brake feel. There's really no brake feel whatsoever. In order to stop this truck, you just have to really, really press down on that brake pedal. But overall, guys, I'm done complaining. This is exactly what a truck is. There's no doubt in my mind that this Tundra is still one of many people's favorite trucks. You know, compared to the Tacoma, the new Tacoma, which is almost identical in size to this 2004 Tundra. But this Tundra's got the V8. In comparison, this is a Tacoma with a V8. Except I believe this V8 doesn't really have as much towing capacity as the V6 in the Tacoma. Accelerating, all you really feel is just the torque. You're not moving super fast, but you are feeling the torque in this V8. The steering is nothing to write home about, but at the end of the day, this is a truck. And I feel like it handles the twisties decently at speed limit. And also, one more thing to point out, these seats, they are so comfortable. You don't get much support from the side bolsters, but you do have very good back support. The bottom cushion is so soft. You're not gonna have any issues with long distance in this truck. I just really love old school Toyotas. And this Tundra, even though it is 2004, it is still a 14-year-old car, and it is now one of my favorite Toyotas ever made. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys real soon. Take care. It's actually kind of similar to the new Tacomas, where you have to